Most people take notes to remember information. Carl Jung took notes to have a conversation with someone he did never met himself. It is a very amazing thing to learn about Carl Jung. It is very important thing to learn about or to know about Carl Jung, about his information thing, about his note taking thing, about his diary and journals that not a lot of people talk about in social media. But I really love how they just created his books and how he created the things that he is known for right now. And he's an amazing person, and I really get interested in his theory of archetypes. I really love that thing, and I connected it with somewhere in my own theories. So I really want to talk about him, and I really tried that thing in my own life. Like I tried to write notes like Carl Jung. That's why I'm creating this video for people like me uh, who love to explore about taking notes and thinking in different way, writing in different way. So this is the video for that, for all of that peoples. And the way Carl just get his notes, and the result I will tell you about is the result was a 600-page manuscript set locked in a Swiss vault for 80 years, that scholars now call the most important unpublished work in history of psychology. Like there is also some diaries, some manuscript pages that existed of Carl that is not published till now. And he write a lot of things. He talk about a lot of things, a lot of theories, a lot of topics that he write about. And the man who thinks like that, it is an amazing thing to explore about himself, to know about how he done things in his own life. So Carl didn't write to organize what he already knew. He write to discuss, or he write to discover what he didn't know yet. So that is the thing that a lot of people just skip that when they are writing something, or when they write notes or taking notes from the book, or writing in their journals. Like they organize what he already knew. So a lot of people write to just to just take notes on the things so they can recall later, to just organize their thoughts that they already knew about from social media, from any other platform, or from some people. We used to like that. We just write it in our notes to so we can recall it later. But but the Carl way is very different. He write notes to discover things. He write notes to get into his unconscious mind and get some topics, get some information that other people don't know about. That's his process. So if Carl will be in this era, he can't fully believe in its own self, or its writing, because he will be like us, like brainwashed. If Carl will be in this era, he will be like brainwashed like us. We don't write anything at all according to our own perception, according to our own point of view. We don't write things at all according to what we think about things. But if Carl was there in this era, he will be like us, because we are just get into this zone because of the social media, because of the doom scrolling and all. So we never write because we have so low self-worth. We really think about our own self, about own words, about our own writings, notes, that what it is not valuable at all. We think about our notes, our point of views like that. But Carl didn't do this at all. If he did that, then we will not gonna know his theories or his topics that is unexplored by other people. He write about archetypes, he write about in the things like occult thing, and he did a great job in psychology. People don't know about unconscious and archetypes and all of this stuff, but he know, because he believe in his own words. He believes in his own self-worth, that whatever he is writing, it is valuable. And that is the thing that I always tell you, to believe in your own words, believe in your own point of view, so you can create something that is not created by any other person at all. I am not talking about having a journal or writing on diary every day, but I want to tell you how your perception on thing is so important part of your life. Just having your perception, writing about the things that you really admire, that you really think is very important, that you are passionate about. Write about that things that no other people written about that stuff at all. So all the famous poetries, stories, or movies, all this creation, came from a being who allow itself to open and write about things that they think of, not marking it as imagination, fairy tale, or magic, but their own truth. Okay, it's okay that people say it is a fairy tale or it is a magic or miraculous thing, but it is not a thing for that human at all. It is his own truth, it is his or her own perception. That is why they are living their own life, because they really want to have their own perception, they really want to write about it, and that thing is truth for that person. It is not a magic or fairy tale or movies at all for them. It is their own truth that is coming out of their own soul. So trust me, every creation is valuable. Every creation that you see, that you hear, that you watch in movies, in street, or in art galleries, museum, all of this stuff are very, very valuable, for are so valuable. As a human being, our creation is very valuable, and every word you think about, every theory that you have about little stuff or your day-to-day life, that you realize, that you think about, is very valuable. It is very important. It is important to see from that insight. People really want to see that creation, because it inspired them, it gave them a road, a view, it gave them some truth. Some creation gave you calmness, some creation gave you peace, some creation gave you realization, all of this stuff. So, and this is what we neglect to understand in our life, that we have sometimes weird thoughts, insight or images that came into our mind, and we let it slip from our mind through our hands. But we think of creature roaming around this world. We think about ourselves as meaningless creature roaming around this world, but it is not a truth at all. You are not that meaningless creature at all. You are existing here because you are that piece of art, you are that diamond, that has a lot of things that can be so valuable for everyone's eyes. So sometimes your weird thoughts, your insight or images that came into your mind is also valuable to think on, to write about that thing, to share that thing with other person. It is important. So trust me, in everyone's being there is a deep well of thoughts and perception, and if everyone let them open to see it, then we will have amazing concepts and theories. Like Carl Jung said, that who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. So that is a big quote that he gave to us, to really think about our own self, go inside our own well, to think on thoughts, to get some concept, to get some theories that is coming from inside our own well. Just get inside your own self, just write notes according on the topics that you love about, that you really like to think on. So go into that well and just write things from that. Get into your unconscious mind and get the concept theories from on the topics that you really love to have in your life. So Carl's standard wasn't that did I capture this thought, it was that did this thought change how I live my life. Think about it, because if Carl also think that this is my useless thoughts or perception, let it go, then we don't have any concept of archetypes and all that is amazing perspective to understand about, or we will not have books like Red and Black book that he written about, that is written by Carl, and the book was so amazing. In some book of him, it contains some art, it contains some drawings, and they are really love, if like I really love to watch them, or to know about all of this thing that is coming from his unconscious mind, that he said in that time that he is in nap time and he is in half awakened state when he is writing about all of his stuff, and I am writing in his notes. So Carl talk about two worlds, he was navigating, that is spirit of times and spirit of depths. So spirit of times is the everyday life world, and spirit of depth is irrational unconscious world. So you always live in spirit of time, but also try once to live in spirit of depths. I tried it. What I done is firstly to practice it. I take a concept to think on from a source, then understand it, and then try to have my own opinions or thoughts that I can add there. From here, you can start and slowly build your own theories or perception by pattern recognition in your mundane life. Because this is what I already tried in my life to get about some, to write things according to my own perception in some specific topics, and I really get into the source of that information that is coming from. I just go through all of it, I understand about the topic, about the whole concept, and then I try to just match it, or just pick some pattern recognition that has happened, that I experience in my own life related to that topic. So I get a theory when I just think about that stuff, that concept for a long time, and I get some theories, I get some concept to add on to that thing. So that is how I write in my notes. So Carl has three pillars. First is the dreams. He put a journal by his bed, and he don't analyze one dream alone, but he write it, and later when he had bunch of dreams, then he analyze it and try to see patterns on it. It is like how he do things with his dreams. Get the journal in his beside his bed and just write it when he gets some dream or anything like that, and after some time he see what is the pattern are going here, what is the pattern is going there. So that is a first pillar. Second pillar is active imagination. So where Carl deliberately enter a mental state or waking sessions and treat what arises as autonomous. He don't tell himself that it is useless, just let it go. He didn't tell that to himself. He know that what is coming from his soul, what is coming from his inside, it is autonomous, and he had to write about it. So that is his second pillar. Third pillar is creativity, converting his dark or illuminated thoughts into an art by finding meaning on it according to his desire of soul. That's why his red book became visual art. If you see this red book of Carl, it is so amazing to just view it. I don't read it because I think it is really dark stuff on that book, so that I don't read it, but I just get a view of it, and just seeing all of this art, all of this visuals, that I really get so interested on. And but here you can see his creativity, how he just converted his dark thoughts into an visual art. So that is an amazing thing to see in a person that is doing that thing. So try this thing in your life also. If you are a deep person who think on things deeper than anyone, try all of this stuff. Try taking notes like that, uh, l- cut out the time from your doom scrolling and try to go deep in your own self. Inside you there is infinite gold and diamond. Why you want to bury it inside your soul or let it go into waste? But try to give it a shape or form or create something with it that is valuable, like this universe do always. So that is my last point for you, to take notes like that. Just get into your own stuff, get into your own mind, just get inside your own self and just write about the concept, about the topics that you really love about, and just see what thoughts come inside, like from inside you, what thoughts is really want to come inside you. Because every time you have thoughts, and every time you can create something out of this thought. So try to take notes like Carl Jung and tell me in comments like how you like this video and what really excited you about this, and